Now the clock on the wall says 13 minutes until midnight. That means it'll be Wednesday the 20th, I think. In just a few minutes. I don't know one phase of the system or not, the light stays on. If it wasn't for timekeeping clocks, I wouldn't know anything. I'm just watching the world go by, Wheels keep turning, Lately, it's something to see. The dedicated mountaineers, professional and otherwise, climbing Mount Everest, and to date, in the latest window, 3 people died. When they say more are going to die, because of what they expect along the way. There's so very many try to make it to the summit. Really, a few days before May is ended. So here it is, May the 19th, today, for a few more minutes. The news that I've been able to get is trivialized to the point of risking, I think, tremendous misunderstandings for anyone who would try to improve on trivia. And who am I to try to do anything? My point of view is not one that allows much. But some things, have happened again. Basically, tremendous effort to get a phone number been shut down. And similar things online been shut down. I know some people don't understand what I'm reacting to, but there's some explicit things that people have done, and just so many other things that happen. I can't invest, I'm at low ebb in terms of energy because of some things continue or never take place in the kitchen. Here I'm on a glide path to hospital again. I can try to spend some money on that, but I can't really head off what people have planned. Also, I'm a little bit alarmed by wonderful espresso machine failed when it ran dry, and for the first time I think too much air got in the tubing, and when I put fresh water in, it did not get taken up. So based on that theory, I made a few maneuvers, and sure enough, eventually it got the water it needed and worked all right. It has safety switches in there so that it won't burn itself out without water, but that doesn't mean there can't be an airlock. If I remember correctly, that's the second time, only the second time I've accidentally run it out of all of the water and had to try again. filled up the tank, but it didn't do any good at first. So what I did was take the tank off and let the connection relax a little bit, and so that any water settled in the tubing, and then I could reconnect. And it did, and I enjoyed the result. Meanwhile, my COPD has gotten worse, and I have a constant cough. I don't think the two are related, but generally, you would think I would want to get up and do something or leave the room for something, but I don't. I sit right here. If I'm fortunate enough to find stuff online, then that's terrific. And because I can't afford good glasses, and getting good glasses, eyeglasses, would be a political process not unlike anything else. I took the easy way, in a way, and I have the tablet that I can put right in front of my face and read some of the stuff that otherwise is out of reach. There are a lot of things that tablets can't do for me. I'm not going to spend money for a fancy one. But really, other than a very basic use of YouTube, it's not much that I'm ready to do, The Dolby stereo headphones work very well. I finally found ones that work. And there's a lot that I can't talk about. I think I said it a minute ago, that stuff that's been so trivialized, and the disingenuous use of facts or theories or something doesn't invite commentary, One might as well do as some do, and that is the only caution they really care about is a good one, namely don't do anything and end up with a sore throat, That's avoidable, and so on, Certainly don't want to. One thing I saw months ago was people climbing, on their way as mountaineers. They quickly jumped in some ice cold water. It's so awful you can't bathe often, when you're climbing and everything. And things get pretty grimy, But they jumped in the water. I thought, well, that's great. If you catch a cold so far away from relief or something, you're going to regret, that. But, people are adventurous, and I'm sure they thought, well, I could catch a cold right away from jumping in this cold water and so on. I happen to know they didn't, but some might, and then there they would be, really stuffed up, basically probably unable to continue to a great altitude. But everything worked out fine, and I hope the same about what people are doing now. But right now, for example, I'm looking at a line of hundreds of people on foot at arm's length for a tremendous distance, weaving up, winding up toward the summit. They could afford to put in an escalator and just let them stand in place and go up an escalator. I could justify that in terms of the density of the population, if nothing else. But obviously that's sardonic, although sometimes I wonder why people react as they have. It's getting so, I don't have much to say. I've tried to come up with something, but, I finally reconnected the little webcam that I like. Tweaked the settings, and I'm glad for that. What the hell, it's not as handy as it used to be, but it stays more or less ready. I'm not really too eager to burn through the capacity of the phone, although obviously I could make room. Probably should. So I'm just trying to maybe keep money ready for food and all that, because the kitchen's an abomination. A lot of cruelty. So I know what little I have to go for food. And also, I'm going to try to buy a few clothes so that I could, have some clean to wear and can take at least 2 showers a week, because it's such a blessing. But I have 2 items missing from my small collection of sweats, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'll see. I thought maybe I could buy some shorts instead of long leg, over sores that develop on my legs. It's better not to have ankle length sweats, maybe. But if I don't do that, if I don't have ankle length sweats, then the blood would get all over the new chair that I'm sitting in now. I'm not in favor of that. The air conditioner here for the whole building failed completely. I think somebody told me they have 2 condensers, and both of them now have quit. They don't work at all. They've distributed a bunch of box fans to people, and that's all we have. It was 84 in my room yesterday for several hours. I don't know what it is today. Well, let's see. Now we just passed midnight, so it's Wednesday. I guess that makes it the 20th, is that right? I don't know. Anyway, Wednesday, and the agenda is not much. I wish I had something to offer. A few things have come up, and I've already said all I had to say about something. So, to say exactly what I'm waiting for, I think would be obvious. I wish that the air conditioner made it an easier wait, but the kitchen was not tied in with hatreds engineered by people far and wide. So that has something to do with not having much to say, on any topics that might be of interest. There's little interest in so much. I'm fully aware of it, and I try to, use my flat screens as a few periscopes, that I'm just not going to be able to find anything, because people can be very clever. They have been, personally felt. But sometimes people come across with something very nice indeed, and for that I'm grateful enough to fire up the system and say so. So now it's 5 minutes past midnight, and I think it's Wednesday the 20th, but I don't know. I don't think it's the 21st. I think it's the 20th. And I'm looking at a set of pictures, videos from Nepal, well, specifically the Mount Everest crowds. And on another monitor I see that the camera shows an opposite wall. You can see it's 1, 2, 3 of the screens that I have, and then behind the larger one that you see on the left of your screen is the Roku screen. It's like, just kind of waiting. So, but all is rather calm here. There's no news. But if there is news, I hope it turns out to be good news. It's terrible to think of all the violence taking place around Hormuz and how much that hurts me. So I'll check in on that, but usually there's no news, just, recapitulation about people waiting for something to happen. I don't know how long that can go on. But I'm not holding my breath for anything to change in terms of the payroll around here. Haters on the payroll are, desperate to prove themselves, and they do. They are very explicit. So I don't need to say much about that. So it's 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes now, and I'll just turn this off with a very sincere wish for your continued good fortune, if you have any upcoming or whatever.